So we've spent over $1 million in sales in under the 4 years that we've actually been in business. And I want to show you the exact team members and how we built our organization and the expectation that you should have within your organization when you are building your own online family business. And no, you do not have to have a whole bunch of money. You do not have to have a massive following, and you do not have to have any of those things that most people or gurus are saying in order for you to do this. So let's get right into it. Okay. So when it comes to building an online family business, it's actually very, very simple when it comes to building an actual team. Okay. So let me break it down in a gist. So you have the visionary that's at the top. Then you have the integrator that's at the bottom. Then you also have the team members, right? You have the operations. And then from there, you have finance. And then you have marketing. Okay. Marketing and sales. This is how you would realistically build an organization. Now, this is how we are building our organization right now. So right now, my mother, which is Dr. T, she is CEO. This is me, I'm Marcus. I am the COO. So to break down what this looks like in more detail, right, is the CEO's job is to be the visionary, right? So that means, come up with ideas, right? That means sometimes that's the person that's in the sales. That means that's the person that's in the marketing, right? These are some of the things that the CEO's job is supposed to do. They're supposed to be the ones really building the business. They're most likely the founder or one of the founders. Okay. Then you have the COO, right? The COO's job is to scale the business. Okay. That's the job of that. So they're going to also be in sales if need be. They're going to be the ones managing the team, right? They're going to be the ones, really getting into the nitty gritty. They're going to be the ones building the culture within the organization. And what I mean by culture, I'm referring to more of, they're the ones that's on the meetings. They're the ones that's pretty much inspiring the team and creating what the expectation of the business should be internally. Okay. So that's what I mean by the culture. Then from there, you also have the finance, right? So we're actually hiring for this position right now. But right now, the CEO is doing the finance, right? This is what we're doing. Sometimes when you're starting off, you will be doing all these roles. You're probably like, oh my God, there's so much I need to do. Yes, there is. When you're first starting out, you're everything, right? So right now, we're currently the finance. What this person specializes in is they're going to be doing the taxes, right? The tax preparation. They're going to be doing the bookkeeping. They're going to be doing the P&Ls. They're going to be doing the cash flow statements, right? They're going to be doing the balance sheets, right? They're going to be doing the budgeting. They're going to be doing, what else? I'm going to just start from here because it could go even further, right? Now, when it comes to the operations, right, we actually have a person that does the operations. Her name is Chris, right? And what the operations is pretty much dealing with is they deal with the software, right? They're also dealing with the fulfillment. They're also dealing with making sure that the product is great overall, right? They're dealing with, what else? Client success. Okay, this is where, that was terrible. Don't mind my handwriting. And client success is also the coaching. Okay, so if you have coaches for your business, then this is what you would be doing. And like I said, we're here teaching you how to scale an online family business. We specialize in coaching, so this is what we're showing you, right? And you can implement the same principle. Okay. From here, you also have, now let's get to the marketing and sales, right? For the marketing and sales, right now we do the marketing, right? So me and my mom do the marketing. So that's the CEO and COO. And I'll break that down, but pretty much this is where you start, this is really where the sales come in. This is you closing the deals. This is you doing social media. This is where you start running paid ads. This is where you start, what is it? I said content creation, paid ads. I think this is practically it, right? This is where you're going to be really doing this on this side. Right now, how the team works, because this is what it looks like when it comes to building an organization, right? Now let's talk about how to actually run this with the team, okay? So if we have you, right? This is how we do it, right? So I'm gonna put this up here. You have I'll just put the position of how we have it. You have the CEO, you have the COO. Then from there, we have the operations. From the operations, we have this split off into, I believe, 3 different sectors. We have hiring. So I'll just put this as what is this? HR. We have systems and IT. I'll just actually put this in IT to make it simple. We have IT here. Then we have customer success here, okay? Then when it comes to the finance, right? I'm gonna put finance. Right now, like I said, we only have my mom at this moment managing the finances, but how it realistically would look if we were to do another category over here is you'd have the tax, you have your attorneys, which is like your trademark attorneys and such. You have your bookkeeper, you have someone doing your payroll, right? And this may be condensed into different people, right? But this is what it will most likely look like as you're looking to scale, right? How ours is looking right now, this is marketing, right? We divide marketing actually into 3 different sectors. Okay, we have content, which content we have our social media manager, we have our video editor, and we actually have 2 types of video editors. This is the video editing department, and then we have 2 types, right? So we have a short form video editor, and then we have a long form video editor, right? And then from there we have our graphic designer, and so the long form video editor is dealing with the YouTube, and so is the graphic designer. They deal with the YouTube, right? And then of course we have and actually there's even another part over here that people don't talk about, which is talent. Okay, so who's the talent? Right now we are the talent within our organization. Okay, so right now it is just my mom and I that are the talent. So you have the CEO and then you have the COO. We are the talent. Okay, and so then we're now going to get into media. Okay, media buying. And so right now I am the person doing the media buying, but usually how it would go, right, is if you have the media buying, is you'd have a media director and then you'd have a media buyer. Okay, so that's usually how that would go in your organization if you wanted to start scaling differently. Right, but right now this is what we're doing. So after that we have content, we have media, we have talent, and we have sales. Can't forget sales, right? So right now we have a sales manager who manages the team. I and my mom are the closers, and then we also have 2 setters. Okay, setter 1, setter 2. And so one of them is dealing with outbound and one of them is dealing with inbound. Okay, so this is pretty much how our organization is ran at the moment. We're very marketing heavy because this is just what we do. We are big in marketing. We're big on content. So we built an entire marketing team that revolves around content, right? We're just now getting into the paid ads and media buying sector, and we're doing pretty decent with that right now. With the client success, right, we only have a very small operations team because we don't really need somebody super crazy. We have client success. We have a coach over here, just so you're aware. We have Dwayne that deals with the VR and Meta, which is really he's dealing with like the digital real estate that we have, right? We have the digital real estate in that section. And then my operations manager, and that's also the person that runs the operations, is also doing HR. Okay, so that's really everything on that end. We don't really have much else that goes on in regards to building an organization, but this is what we do in order to scale our business to multiple 6 figures. Okay, and so I want to make sure that you have some similar expectations, and because this is what we do in order to build a business, and we want you to build a business as well. So it's very simple. You want to make sure that you have certain team members. When you start off, you're going to be everyone, and that's okay. That's fine. So are we, right? You're going to be the visionary, the integrator, the marketer, the salesperson, the operations, and you're going to be doing the financing. And that's okay. As you scale and make more money, you're going to delegate. And so let's talk about how to actually delegate, okay? Most people don't talk about this. This is how you delegate. So you work from bottom up, okay? And it's broken down actually into 5 different sectors, okay? So first thing you want to delegate is admin. So this is your operations. You want to delegate your operations. Then you want to delegate the fulfillment side, which is your customer success, okay? So your coach or CSM or whatever. Then you want to delegate your marketing, your lead gen strategy, okay? So this could be an executive assistant. This could be a coach or a CSM. This could be, it depends on what your goals are. We recommend doing the actual marketing yourself first, right? And so we recommend content. So, but this depends. If you're building a media buyer team with paid ads, then you would hire a media buyer, and then if you're doing content, right, then like I said, there's different things. You would be hiring a video editor, you'd be hiring a graphic designer, you'd be hiring a social media manager, you'd be hiring a copywriter, right? This is some of the positions that you'd be hiring on the marketing side, right? And then here you may be hiring a media director to give the overall strategy to the media buyer, right? So this is what that looks like. We suggest going towards, or right, here's another thing. You may be hiring setters. I forgot all about that, because they may be doing outreach, right? So you may be doing outbound setting as a way of doing things, right? Because there's different ways to market your business, which that'll be a totally different video. Outside of marketing, you will then do sales, okay? So then this is where you start hiring your closer, okay? This is where you start hiring a closer, and now you're no longer dependent on the business making money. Like usually when you're starting off, you're doing all of the sales, you're doing all the marketing, you're doing all the success, you're doing all the admin, right? So right now, that's 3 levels. You have the first level, second level, third level, fourth level, and then 5th level. And I got this actually from Dan Martell from his Buy Back Your Time book, and I literally use this for everything, right? And so then the last level is leadership. When you start building a team, you will start having department heads, and this is where you'll start, really talking to them and not really your entire team as much, right? And so you may have like this for us is our sales manager, right? You have a sales manager in this role that I talk to every single day pretty much, right? So this is where we really focus in on how to hire. People don't really talk about how to hire and how to delegate. This is how to hire, okay? So you want to hire in this order, right? When it comes to delegation, you want to delegate to these certain positions, okay? And you have to do the work in order to know how to delegate. So you should be doing all of this before you even start delegating. Don't just start hiring first. I think everyone, no matter what level you're at, you should be hiring an EA, even for your personal life, okay? Even for your personal life, you should be hiring an executive assistant, because they can have you do your reservations. They can schedule your reservations, your hair appointments, your nail appointments, your life in general, right? They can do a lot of different things for you that you don't particularly care to do. So anything you don't like, you can delegate. And so the way that I would do that is I would track your tasks, right? I would track your tasks for 2 weeks, and then identify things you don't like, and you delegate that. And then eventually you want to start delegating things you do like, because some things may be unproductive, okay? So this is literally A through Z on how exactly I would hire our business. It's very simple. It doesn't do much if you hire. So I hope you learned something. Like I said, my entire goal when it comes to building this channel is to help you build an online family business from scratch, and so that you can make 6 figures and pass generational wealth to the future generations, okay? So hopefully you got some value. If you want to learn more information, we actually have a community that we've built. It literally costs you $50 a month. I think that's like, how much is that per day, right? $50 a month, y'all, is how much this costs. 50 divided by 30 is literally $1.67 a day. Anybody can spend $1.67. So go ahead, invest, learn, join the community, so that we can teach you exactly how we were able to build such an amazing family business and work with our family to build generational wealth. Peace.